When you cry in front of him and he goes silent, stone-faced, or walks away, he's not heartless, he's overwhelmed, and I'm going to explain why. I'm a man, and I need to tell you something I'm not proud of. I've been the guy who shut down when my woman cried, multiple times, and I've watched my father do the same thing to my mother throughout my childhood. Growing up as the bridge between divorced parents, I saw both sides of this pattern. I saw my mother's pain when my father would just leave the room, and I saw my father's face, that frozen, trapped look, before he did. Here's the truth. When a man shuts down during your tears, it's not because he doesn't care. It's because he cares so much that his entire nervous system crashes. By the end of this video, you'll understand the neuroscience, the psychology, and the childhood programming that makes a grown man freeze when the woman he loves is in pain. Because confusion is what keeps you feeling abandoned. Clarity is what sets you free. I know. Clarity is gold. Let's set the scene. Something happened. Maybe it's something he did. Maybe it's work stress. Maybe it's family drama. But you're upset and you're crying. Not manipulative crying. Not trying to get your way crying. Just human emotion. Tears. And you look at him, hoping for comfort, hoping for reassurance, hoping he'll just hold you and say, "It's going to be okay." Instead, he sits there like a statue. His face goes blank. His body goes rigid. Actually, he becomes silent. He does now react in the way you subconsciously expect him to. He says nothing. Or worse, he says, "I don't know what you want me to do," and walks away. And you're left sitting there thinking, does he even care? Am I crying alone right now? What is wrong with him? Here's what he's not telling you. And honestly, what he probably doesn't even understand himself. Reason number 1. His nervous system literally short-circuits. When a woman cries, a man's brain enters what neuroscientists call an amygdala hijack. To make it simple, his stress hormones spike. Cortisol, the hormone when humans feel stressed. So this cortisol floods his system and his prefrontal cortex, the part that handles logical thought, empathy, and communication, goes offline. This is how the nervous system reacts. This is biology. Let me tell you about the first time I understood this. I was 21. My girlfriend at the time was crying that she feels distant and am not expressing much. My texts are making her overthinking. And I just froze. I wanted to help. I desperately wanted to say something, but I felt this wall go up inside me. Like my brain was screaming, "Do something," but my body wouldn't move. Later, I learned what was happening. My brain was treating her tears like a fire alarm. And when men's brains perceive an emotional emergency, we don't process it. We scan for solutions. And when we can't find an immediate fix, system crash. Here's the kicker. This response is often hardwired from childhood. Little boys are taught that tears mean crisis. Mom cries, dad has to fix it. Sister cries, you're supposed to make it better. So a man's brain learns. Tears equals problem. And I am responsible for solving it. But your tears aren't a problem to solve. They're an emotion to witness, words to listen, and feelings to understand. Just understand. And most men were never taught the difference. Let that sink in. Reason number 2. He feels helpless, and helplessness feels like failure. Men are socialized to be fixers, providers, protectors, problem solvers. When you cry and he can't immediately make it stop, his entire identity as the man who takes care of things collapses. Like imagine you are on a no-sugar diet, and what happens when you eat ice cream? Your will collapses and you say, let's just eat more. I remember watching my father during my parents' divorce. My mother would cry and he would leave the house or just go drink alcohol. Not because he was cruel, because he couldn't stand the feeling of being powerless to make her happy. And I inherited that pattern. I was 22 in a serious relationship. She was crying about something her manager said at work. I asked, do you want to talk to her? She said no. I asked, do you want to just leave this job? She said no. I asked, then what do you want me to do? And she said, just be here with me. And I didn't know how to do that, because being there wasn't an action. It wasn't a solution. It felt like doing nothing, and doing nothing felt like failing. So I shut down. Here's what I didn't understand then. She didn't need me to fix anything. She needed me to hold space for her pain. But I was never taught what that looks like. I was taught that if I'm not solving, I'm useless. That belief system turns tears into torture. Because every second I'm sitting there, not fixing, my brain is screaming, "You're not contributing. You're not contributing. You're not protecting." So I shut down to escape that feeling. Now I've learnt from those patterns by being more self-aware. But I was also back him then. Reason number 3. He's afraid of making it worse. This one is subtle but powerful. Many men shut down because we're terrified that anything we say will be the wrong thing. Reason number 3. He's afraid of making it worse. This one is subtle but powerful. Many men shut down because we're terrified that anything we say will be the wrong thing. If we say, "It's going to be okay," you might say, "You don't know that." If we say, "Don't cry," you feel invalidated. If we say nothing, you feel abandoned. If we try to fix it, you feel dismissed. So we freeze. Because in our minds, silence feels safer than saying the wrong thing and making you cry harder. I've been there. Sitting frozen, running through every possible sentence in my head, rejecting each one before it leaves my mouth. That sounds dismissive. That sounds condescending. That sounds cold. So I say nothing. And the nothing feels worse to you than any imperfect words would have. Here's the pattern. Men learn that emotional conversations are minefields. One wrong word and everything explodes. So we shut down as a form of self-protection. Because to us, our silence is harm reduction. We genuinely believe we're preventing damage. But what we don't understand is, your need for presence is greater than your need for perfect words. You'd rather have clumsy empathy than polished silence. Reason number 4. He's feeling too much and doesn't know how to process it. This is the one most women don't expect. You think he's shutting down because he doesn't care. The truth? He's shutting down because he's drowning in his own emotions. When the woman we love is in pain, it triggers everything we've buried. Our own unprocessed grief, our shame, our inadequacy, our fear that we're failing you. And men were never taught emotional regulation. We were taught emotional suppression. So when your tears bring up his feelings, he doesn't have the tools to sit with that intensity. He can't separate his emotional overwhelm from yours. He can't hold space for your pain while also processing his own. The result? Shutdown. Because shutdown is the only emotional regulation strategy most men were ever taught. Here's the neuroscience. When emotional intensity exceeds a man's capacity to process it, his nervous system triggers a freeze response. It's the same mechanism that makes a deer freeze in headlights. It's not a choice. It's a survival instinct. Women tend to process through connection, talking, crying, reaching out. Men tend to process through withdrawal, silence, space, shutting down. Neither is wrong. They're just different nervous system strategies. But when your strategy is connection and his strategy is withdrawal, tears become a crisis point where your needs directly oppose each other. Quick note. If this is resonating, if you're starting to see his shutdown differently, hit subscribe. I started Her Psyche to be the bridge between what men are thinking and what women need to hear. Growing up translating between my divorced parents taught me both languages, and I'm here to translate for you. Okay, let's continue. If you're watching this and you've experienced this shutdown, I need you to hear this. His shutdown is not a reflection of your worth. You are not too emotional. You are not too much. Your tears are not a burden. Your need for emotional connection is not unreasonable. When he shuts down, it's because he's hitting the limits of his own emotional capacity. And that capacity was shaped by how he was raised, what he was taught about masculinity, and what emotional tools he was given, or not given. But, and this is critical, his limitations are not your responsibility to manage. Listen to this carefully. You should not have to suppress your emotions to prevent his shutdown. You should not have to cry alone to protect his nervous system. You should not have to make yourself smaller so he can feel more capable. You should not have to emotional tiptoe around a grown man. Those are all forms of self-abandonment, and self-abandonment is too high a price to pay for a relationship. A man who is ready for a healthy partnership learns to expand his capacity for emotional intensity. He learns to sit with discomfort. He learns that your tears are not a test he's failing. They're a moment of vulnerability you're trusting him with. And if he can't learn that, then he's not emotionally available for the depth of intimacy you're offering. You deserve a partner who doesn't run when things get real. You deserve someone who can hold space for your pain without making it about his discomfort. And that's not too much to ask. That's the baseline for adult relationship. Here's what most women don't want to hear. If he shuts down when you cry and never addresses it, never works on it, never even acknowledges it's a problem, he will do this forever. The pattern only changes when it's named and worked on. This isn't about him being bad or broken. This is about emotional capacity. And emotional capacity can be developed, but only if he's willing to do that work. Some men go to therapy. Some men read books on emotional intelligence. Some men have that one conversation with a friend or mentor that cracks them open. However it happens, growth requires awareness and effort. The question isn't, does he shut down? Most men do at some point. The real questions are, does he notice it? Does he acknowledge the impact on you? Is he willing to develop new tools? Can he learn to stay present even when uncomfortable? Because you can't love someone into emotional availability. You can't cry enough to make him realize he needs to change. He has to choose it himself. And if he doesn't, then you have a choice to make. Can I accept a relationship where my emotional needs trigger his shutdown, or do I deserve a partner who's done the work? Here's your homework. Get your journal or notes, or go to your best friend, or whatever it is you use to vent it out. Question 1. When he shuts down, what do I make it mean about me? Do you make it mean you're too much, too emotional, too needy, unlovable? Write it down, because the story you're telling yourself about his shutdown is causing more damage than the shutdown itself. And once you see that story clearly, you can decide if it's true or if it's just old programming. Question 2. What would I need to see from him to feel safe being emotional around him again? This is about identifying your actual needs. Not, I need him to never shut down. That's unrealistic. But maybe it's, I need him to acknowledge when it happens. I need him to say he's working on it. I need him to come back after and repair. Write down or mention what emotional safety would actually look like with him, because you can't ask for what you haven't named. Welcome to Her Psyche. I'm here to decode male psychology from the inside, not to excuse it, but to explain it, so you have clarity instead of confusion. If this video helped you understand his shutdown differently, subscribe, because next video, we're breaking down what he's really thinking when he says, I'm not ready for a relationship, and spoiler, it's almost never what you think. Drop a heart in the comments if you've experienced the shutdown. You're not alone, and the more we understand these patterns, the less power they have over us. Welcome to Her Psyche, where clarity begins and confusion ends. Your rewiring starts here.